The brain needs to be trained just like the body does. Jim Kwik, the author of this book, who is known as the boy with the broken brain, knows how to unlock our limits and train the brain. Mindset, limiting beliefs, and assumptions influence the brain. Kwik believed that relationships were complex because his parents went through a divorce, and it took him a long time to change that belief about life. Purpose, being able to do what you want, having enough energy, bite-sized tasks, and using the correct methods leads to a limitless life. Kwik faced a head injury while young, which led him to being a super learner later in life. He has worked with all kinds of people over the last 30 years to help them train their brains. Our adventure is in living up to our true potential. Kwik thought he was dumb when he was little, and he could barely read. He faced a sad incident when he was in kindergarten when the teacher mentioned firefighters who were driving by the classroom window, and all the kids rushed to the window to see them. Kwik placed a chair beneath his feet to see the firefighters since he was little and too short to reach the window. This is when a kid yanked his chair out, and Kwik hit his head against the metal radiator, which caused him brain damage. Kwik couldn't focus after that accident, and his memory was bad. It took him 3 years to learn to read after that accident. Thanks to comic books, he began to read, which gave him hope of achieving the impossible. The X-Men were his favorite characters because they were misunderstood. His teachers labeled him as the boy with the broken brain. Adults often unintentionally place limiting beliefs on kids when they use labels, which is why it's so important to be impeccable with language. Kwik got accepted into a local college and did worse in college than in high school. Kwik took some time away from school since he didn't see the point of wasting time or money. He conversed with his friend's dad and learned to ask questions. The dad told him to read personal development books that he assigned to him. Kwik didn't know how he would get through those books, and then one day he was so tired that he fell down a flight of stairs after walking out of the library, which caused him another brain injury, sadly. He woke up in the hospital 2 days later and felt like he was at the lowest point of his life. As Einstein would say, working harder wasn't the answer. He needed to approach the problem differently. If there's a gap between your potential and where you are, that's how you know you have a limiting belief somewhere in your mind. Motivation, mindset, and method are part of getting where you're meant to be. Individuals or organizations might be lacking in one of these 3 parts. Everyone has a villain when it comes to productivity or learning. Many people want to free themselves from the villains of the modern age. Villain 1 is the digital delude, which means there's a lot of information to process. We take in as much information per day as a person from the 1400s would have absorbed in a lifetime. Information used to move through word of mouth or paper, but now it takes a toll on a person's quality of life and time. New experiences create new neural activity and improve long-term memory, resulting from downtime. Information overload contributes to job dissatisfaction, bad relationships with colleagues, poor health, cancellation of social events, and leisure activity fatigue. How has information overload affected you? Villain 2, the digital dementia. Most people don't remember the phone numbers, even of people they talk with daily. Short-term memory will start to dwindle if people rely too much on technology. Technology is both harmful and uplifting to kids. Students who kept their laptops closed during a lecture remembered more information about the topic at the end of class, compared with students who kept their laptops open. If someone tries to impose their opinion on you, you would probably run away from that person. Yet so many people allow the internet to tell them how to think. Heroes and villains both need each other and grow when they challenge each other. Fire can burn or cook, depending on how it's used. The same is true of technology. The brain is neuroplastic, which means it constantly changes. People with a challenging upbringing have developed resilience and have a different brain than those who grew up in a sheltered environment, where they're overprotected by their parents, perhaps. The gut is known as the second brain, the ENS, or the enteric nervous system, which has 100 million nerve cells that make up 2 linings in the stomach. It affects one's mood and brain function. People rely on the nutrients from the stomach that the brain needs. The brain eats up 20% of daily calories. Cramming doesn't work, according to the author, but taking breaks does. When the mind is stretched, it never returns back to its old size. There is a method of learning that the author describes in the book, and it's called the FASTER method. It stands for forget, act, state, teach, enter, and review. For at least a little bit of time, let go of your mind limitations. Do not fight for your limitations, or you will keep them going in your life. Be sure to keep a positive attitude. Forget your distractions and what you already know about a topic. Approach things with a beginner's mindset. The second part of the FASTER method is act. Be fully present. Learning isn't passive. The third part of the FASTER method is state. Learning is dependent on one's state. Your current state is a snapshot in time of your feelings and is dependent on your thoughts and physiology. Information that's tied to your feelings is more easily remembered. The fourth part of the FASTER method is teach. When you teach the information you learned, you will remember it more. The fifth part of the FASTER method is enter. Place things in your schedule, and one thing you should place down on your calendar is personal growth. Place all your Limitless meetings in your calendar for the next week. The sixth part of the FASTER method is review. Recall what you learned with spaced out repetition and a few sessions. Thanks for watching. Now get out there and unlock your limitless potential.